Welcome to Salon Talks. I'm Olivia Lupino, and today I am so excited because I'm joined by Ariana Madix. Ariana is one of the stars of Vanderpump Rules, one of my favorite reality TV shows, my favorite reality TV show of all time. She played an absolutely pivotal role in the show's most recent Bombshell, Emmy-nominated 10th season, but she's everywhere right now. She just crushed it on Dancing with the Stars, Us Weekly's Reality Star of the Year, on the cover of magazines. You're opening up the most anticipated sandwich shop of all time. And today, though, we're here to talk about a cocktail book I love, Single AF Cocktails, Drinks for Bad Bitches. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be talking to you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
So I've been watching you on TV for like 10 years now, and getting this book in my hand, I am so excited because it is just beautiful. The photos are gorgeous. The drinks are delicious. But this is a really special book too. It's more than just, your cocktail book. Can you tell me about how you created these drinks in order to tell a story?
Yeah, so following in footsteps of women that I really admire, like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Kelly Clarkson, women who are able to take their personal experiences and then channel them creatively into, well, their medium is music, and for me, my medium is cocktails. So I'm telling the story of my past relationship from beginning to very messy end, but I'm also using cocktails and fun photography to, illustrate that story. And like you were saying, the photographs, Kelly Paleo, who actually did the photos for my first cocktail book with my former co-author, she also did the photos for this book. And it was a really big deal for me to have her involved because she is the most incredible photographer. And as you've seen, the photos are just amazing. So she's awesome.
Yeah, it's just a good book to just have to look at, even if you don't want to drink. Is there one drink that you're really excited for fans to either try or perhaps read the backstory of?
We Ride at Dawn is one of my absolute favorites. Number one, it's a mezcal cocktail, and mezcal is my favorite spirit. But it's also the story attached to it is about my support system and just how amazing my friends and family are. And so that's something that I'm really proud of, is being able to talk about them.
Yeah, and as you said, this book takes us on a journey through your relationship, from the good times to the bad times to the good times. I would say great times right now, probably. And when I was reading it, I was really struck by the inclusion of the good times. I thought that was so brave and honest. And after what happened, I don't know if I would do it, so that was very big of you.
It was tough.
So can you tell me more about what it was like revisiting those moments and why you wanted to include them?
I just felt like it was really important to, if I was going to tell a story, to be able to also go there with it. I have to say that was the hardest part of writing this, and it was because obviously, I wrote this months ago, and I was in a much different place, like a much more intense, raw place at that time. So it was tough to go there.
And now, of course, the bad times, you dive into those too. And obviously fans and readers are gonna get some new details actually about the affair. And I'm wondering what it's like to still be able to share those moments with an audience and be heard, and why you decided to include those as well.
I feel like, in order for me to really give like every detail, I would need, a War and Peace thickness of a book. But I felt like there were just certain things that I had learned that I felt like it was important for me to include, just because, this is my story, and I feel like whether, people maybe don't want to hear it or not, I'm entitled to share my experience. And for people to be receptive to it, I am really grateful, and I'm really lucky that people, give a shit. But also I think that there's so many things about this that other people can relate to because they've been through something similar. And as sad as that is, of how many people have been through something similar, I think that's part of why we're all able to kind of bond together and get through these things together. And so in me sharing those things, I was hoping that other people would be able to connect, and maybe somehow if I took away something from it, that they would be able to as well.
So another thing I love about this book, which you actually already started to bring up, is that this is your breakup album because this is your medium. You talk about some of your favorite breakup albums and some of mine. Shout out to Casey Musgrave.
Yes.
Can you talk more about like how music played and how the role that music played in your healing?
Music is something that, I mean, I think most people just, there's something about connecting with music that's unlike anything else. And I'm someone who just, I don't know how to explain like how pivotal music is for me, just in all aspects of life. No matter where I'm at emotionally, like music is where I go. And Casey, another person who I really, really admire, and her music was something that, I mean, if you go through like my Spotify Wrapped, it's like top artist, Casey Musgraves this year, you know, it's like that was just where I went. And I remember, you know, early on, you know, we're back in March, me and my best friends just turning up the Lemonade album to full blast on the television and just having like scream, cry, dance parties, because it's something that, I don't know, a new way of connecting to these songs that I always loved before.
Yeah, and kind of, I want to ask you, is there a song right now that describes the current phase that you're in?
I feel like Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves is kind of like, you know, how things are feeling right now.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah. That or the new Beyonce, My House.
Yeah. So continue with this music track. Obviously, you just wrapped up with Dancing with the Stars, and you crushed it. You made all of us Bravo fans so proud.
Thank you.
You gave us a shot at the Mirrorball Trophy. What did you learn about yourself through this process?
I learned that I was capable of much more than I thought, and I would have like full-blown anxiety attacks every Tuesday before the show, or even sometimes like right before dancing, and then we would get through the dance and everything would be fine. And so it was kind of this like ongoing lesson and learning to trust myself and trust that I could do it, and also trust that my partners got my back. And I think part of what made that possible is just how incredibly supportive the entire cast and crew of that show is.
Yeah.
Every contestant, every pro, all the hair, makeup, and costume people, everyone just constantly like rooting for each other. And that was what was so cool, is I think for me, the ultimate goal was getting to the finale, because I didn't want to have FOMO of like missing out on anything. And so, you know, when we're all there, we all made it to all the semifinalists, we all made it to be finalists. And all week, me and Allison would be like, hey, finalist, hey, finalist. And then getting to share in that moment of just everybody being up there and the confetti and the pyro going when Sochi and Val won. Like, it was just like, it really felt like, I don't know, it felt like it's their win, but it felt like a win for all of us, just because, I don't know, it's just such a cool family to be a part of.
Yeah, I know. I saw how much you all bonded and just what the experience, like it was such a close-knit experience. And now you're taking it one step further. You're about to be on Broadway, which is, so crazy. And I'm so excited for you. I know that was a lifelong goal, so you've done it. You just announced, but what can you tell us about it? Have you started rehearsing?
No, I start rehearsing, I think, in January, but I will be starting with like photo shoot, fitting, things like that soon, and I'm so excited. I'm so nervous, but again, I'm trying to tell myself, in the same way that Dancing with the Stars happened, that we'll rehearse and it will be good, you know, that it'll be all okay and that it'll all work out, because I'm just so excited, and I just want to make sure that I do the best job, because it really is a lifelong dream.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at the comments today, and I saw like James Kennedy was like, we'll be there.
Yeah.
So I'll be there. It'll be
Yes.
great. And so, as is evidenced by this conversation, of course, like you have been nonstop since March. It just keeps getting bigger and better. Go, go, go. But obviously, when Scandival broke in March, that's when this all started, with this kind of nonstop pace. You agreed to pick back up filming, which was very brave. You and your castmates were doing so much press and media and podcasts. You starred in commercials that are still stuck in my head. But it's just been go, go, go. And I'm wondering what the impact of this media frenzy was on your healing.
I think in some ways it was a really good distraction so that I feel like sometimes my initial instinct sometimes is to isolate or retract and just kind of like go away when I'm feeling things and then reemerge when I've been able to process. And because I was almost pushed to process while being so busy, it almost felt like it was a really good distraction and also a really good way of having to process in real time as opposed to being like, oh, I'll see you guys in 6 months kind of thing. And I also think that in some ways it was really nice to feel like, because it was so public, that in some ways I wasn't going through it alone, if that makes sense. But then it definitely got to a point where it felt a little weird because it felt like there was like this commodification of, is that the right word? Of like my actual real life.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, it doesn't even belong to me anymore. It belongs to other people somehow, which is weird. But I think that that's just the nature of living life publicly.
Yeah. Have you been able to do anything that makes you feel like you're taking it back for yourself?
I think writing this book for sure. And I think just being honest with myself and, if someone says something like, get over it, it's been 9 months or something like that, thinking to myself that this doesn't belong to that person, that commenter, that whatever, this is mine and I'll make the decisions on how I'm feeling. Like just kind of telling myself that is how I've been dealing with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's already almost time for another season of Vanderpump Rules. We got a tiny snippet of it at BravoCon. I'm sure you can't say much, but what was it like filming this season?
It was interesting. Obviously it was very different than seasons past for obvious reasons. And who knows what it's going to be like when it's all put together. I know how it felt. I know it felt weird. It was really difficult at times. And I think that our show always has like really thrived when it is at its realest. And I think that this is going to be a very real season in a lot of ways, and so that'll be really interesting for viewers.
I mean, that's why you're my favorite show. That's what you guys do best. It's definitely real.
Yeah.
And there's one woman, of course, at the center of all of this. At the end of the day, Miss Lisa Vanderpump herself. We just saw her with tears in her eyes supporting you at Dancing with the Stars. Gosh. What's your relationship like with her today? And more generally, how do you navigate all of these relationships that are so interconnected, not only with your ex, but your livelihood and your career, what you do every day?
Lisa is incredible, and seeing her was awesome. I got to see her before the show too, like in the backstage area, and having her be there to support was awesome. And it was amazing too because like she's been in Vegas opening restaurants, she's been in France, she's been all over the place, but she made it a point to come to the finale. So it was really awesome. And, for the most part, as far as the navigation of those types of relationships, there hasn't been a lot of that because there are not many mutual connections at this point. So that part has been a little bit less stressful than most of other things.
Good to hear. And finally, it's just so clear that like the world is your oyster right now, I would say. You've been nonstop. You're about to be on Broadway. You got to write a cocktail book that is finally just your own, and it's even better. How have you been approaching all of these opportunities that have been coming your way, and are you going to slow down anytime soon?
I think that when everything with Broadway starts, that will be my sole focus, and I'm going to do my best to not have any other things going on, just so that I can really be primarily focused on that, because it is so important to me to be doing the best job. And I would love a vacation. That would be cool. At least the holidays are coming up. No one works on the holidays, so I have that. And it's been awesome, and I think that as far as things that come my way, I think it's just a matter of can I do a good job of this? Is this something I can handle? And also, is this something that I connect with that feels right for me and that I actually like, you know? So, yeah.
So you just got the big one. You're going to be on Broadway, but is there anything else you want to manifest right now?
Oh, a nap.
I know. Where are you going to go on vacation? Where do you want to go?
I'm thinking maybe Mexico.
Okay, good choice.
Or just my bed.
Yeah.
That's
good place
cool
to
with
start.
that too.
Well, Ariana, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. Single AF Cocktails is out now.
Yes.